How's it going? So my name is Michael. I'm 26 years old and I've been budgeting ever since I was around 18, but I never really put it on camera or broke it down publicly. So going into 2026, my focus is tightening everything up, getting more completely debt free, building a real 6-month emergency fund, and making sure my money is actually supporting the direction I want to go. So this video is just me walking through how I'm structuring my budget for 2026 and why I'm setting it up this way. If you already been budgeting but want more control or clarity, then this should be useful. So the budgeting app that I'm gonna be using today is called Buddy. And so usually I have everything on paper, and but just to make it simpler and easy for YouTube wise, I'm gonna do everything on electronically through Buddy. When you first open the app, you'll see a budget section and then you'll click start your budget. And so the first thing you'll put in your name, a monthly budget, and then start on the first day of the month. And so the first thing for income, so I have two sources of income. One of them is my VA disability, and that brings in $4085.43 a month. And I also have a W-2, which brings in around $3,000 a month. And that fluctuates. Some months I can bring in $4,000, some months I can bring in like $2,800. And so I was gonna rough estimate it at $3,000. And so the next thing, now we're gonna get to the expenses. So the first thing is rent. My rent, I live with a roommate, and so my part of the rent comes out to $1,450. Internet, we haven't set it up yet, but we will, and I will estimate around $70 each for that. And my telephone, I go through AT&T, and I have a phone and an iPad, and so that comes out to around $170 a month. And I'm also going to add electricity, and I'm gonna estimate that at around $90 a piece, so $180 a month. But my part would be $90. So total of housing that I gotta pay is $1,780. So now, if you see above it, I got $5,305.43 left to use. So the next thing is food. So groceries, I budgeted to be $128.04 a month just in groceries. I really don't cook that much. I usually eat out more than I cook, which is something I need to work on, but that's what I have low per month. Restaurants, I try to go at least once a week for me, my daughter, and her mother. And so the three of us usually come around $50 a meal. And I always leave a $20 tip. And so every time we go out, it's $70. So 70 times 4 is $280. So fast food, I usually go to Chipotle at least 2 to 3 times a week, just because it's the most affordable one to actually get a full meal. And so I always order white rice, chicken, and a side of pico. They always come out to around $9. So I go there 3 times a week for 4 weeks at $9. Who's gonna write up to 10? That's 30 a week, 30, 60, 90, 120 a month. But that's for my work food. And so basically, we go to QT or like a gas or something for like a quick meal every time during breaks. And that always come out to around $10. And so if I work 5 days a week for 4 months at $10 a day, that comes out to $200 a month. And so my total food budget is $728. So now that leaves me with $4,577 left to use. Now my lifestyle, clothes, I don't buy clothes like that. Healthcare, I'm a retired veteran medically, and so I use TRICARE Prime, and that comes out to around $62 a month. The gym I don't go to, gas my vehicle, I try to budget around $300 a month. Miscellaneous purposes, for like I have a dog and stuff like that, that come out around $200 a month. Also here, I'm gonna add my truck payments and my insurance payments. So my truck comes out to around $700 a month. And my insurance for it comes out around $323.82. Now that has been going up. It started off at $290, and then about 2 months ago, they just hit me with $323.82 a month. And so, which totals $1,323.82 transportation wise. Another personal expense is my daughter. So she goes to daycare, and me and her mother splits it. And so daycare is $300 a month or $300 a week. And since we split it, I pay 2 weeks of it. So that comes out at around $600 a month on my end. Also, so one huge thing this year that I'm trying to be is debt free. And so at the beginning of last year, which would be 2025, I was almost $80,000 into debt. And so 30 of it was my car note, my truck note, and then 50,000 was debt. So either credit card debt, was it pawn shop debt, was it tolls, old tolls. The house that I had left, I had owed like electricity, water. So all my debt added up was around 50,000. And so after the full year, after doing all settlements and reach out to programs to help, I now have around $5,000 left of debt. And so my goal this year is to pay the $5,000 off so I can be debt free. And so in order for that, every month I have to pay $728 worth of debt. And so I'm just gonna put that as, let's put it as unknown. And so my debt comes out to $728 a month. And then the next expense is my subscriptions. So I have a YouTube subscription that comes out at $13.99 a month, a Microsoft subscription that comes out at $20.99 a month, ChatGPT comes out at $19.99, Patreon $16.24 a month, iCloud is $2.99, Netflix is $8.99, and Squarespace is $38.38. So that all adds up to $113. Can't even see it right there. $113.57 a month. And so now I have $1,550 left to use for my savings. And so for my savings, I set aside $500 a month, and that goes, so I have everything under Fidelity, and I park my savings in through there. Another one I have is investments. So I put $300 aside to my UTMA daughter's account. I'm gonna max out my retirement account through Roth IRA. That's $620 a month. And then stocks, I'm gonna try to do $200 a month. So all of that comes out to basically everything that's left of my income. So $10.50. So after all my investments and savings, that leaves me with $0 left of my budget. So my number one priority with this budget in 2026 is to be debt free. So hopefully that could be done by April. And so that $728 that was going towards the debt can now be put towards investments. And so I can increase stocks. I can increase my daughter's UTMA account. I also have a GOF business. And so that comprises of real estate, merch, media, stocks and stuff like that. And so I can have money, extra money to put towards that. So this is the budget that I'm running for 2026. The goal is simple: get debt free, build real savings, and keep things steady. And from here on, you'll see how it plays out and how the year moves forward. If you want to follow along, subscribe. And if you're working towards some of the goals this year, drop a comment and I'll read them and get back to you.